Okay, item 205, updated detailed design phase 2 of the town hall. So I think
I just want to talk you through, we're proposing to make a kind of small amendment to the phase 2 layout, which actually makes a lot of sense and frees up a lot of kind of valuable space inside the building. It's a kind of very minor change. This is the plan that we've currently got planning permission for. And we've got these 3 steps on the this is the kind of the high street end, this is the market square, this is the rear of the building. Your boundary currently follows this line here. So we've got a small sliver of land between this wall and the boundary. So what we're proposing to do, we've currently got permission for the stairs to be at the end of the proposed extension. We're proposing to move those into the centre of the plan, move this wall out a little bit, and then occupy that space going up the building as meeting rooms. That means that we can get a much wider staircase, which means we can increase capacity on the top floor. We get more usable space in there, and you get a kind of occupation of the rooms on the end of the building which are facing the market square, so you get a kind of bit of animation between the town hall, the back of the town hall and the market square. So we've still got the same arrangement for spaces as escapes there, cellar store, kitchen and town council office. So the town council office remains here at the back by the TSB alleyway. The kitchen gets a bit more kind of regular, and this is about 50% larger than the kitchen in the Hollies Hall. Sorry, not Holly Hall, Orchard Hall, sorry. Plus we've got a bit of circulation space going through there. You get the staircase there in the centre of the plan, which runs up the building, which allows you to have back of house access to assembly room and market hall. If you've got different events going on, you can run up and downstairs, take food up and down. Still got a dumb waiter in there to serve the upper floors.
brilliant.
And then just on the end here, we're proposing just a kind of very simple enclosure for the bin store, just to tuck those away, keep them out of sight. That will just be a single story, kind of about 1800 high, almost like fence height level enclosure there. The main building will stop at this point. So from coming in from the market square, there'll be a set of doors into a small yard, a set of doors there which will lead you in, which will give you delivery access through to the kitchen and the cellar store. And the remainder of the plan stays unchanged. Thank you. Just put pace down. So moving up to the first floor, we've got the same, this is the existing plan with the staircase at the end. So we move that staircase into the middle. That frees up that end space here as the Oliver Brooks room. So the Oliver Brooks room is no longer a kind of through room. In the existing proposals, you've got this kind of corridor to get access to the escapes there. If we push that there, there's no route through. The Oliver Brooks room just becomes a simple room at the end. We gain a kind of small plant storeroom on there, which will fill, no doubt, with air handling. And the Beecham room, we get a much simpler break in this. The idea with this room is that we'll have a demountable partition here, so that it can be used as a single room, or it can be split into 2. So you can have the 3 rooms on this level as your counselling rooms. Okay, can we just move on to page? On the second floor plan, so assembly room level, again, you can just see we're just widening it here. It's labelled Oliver Brooks room now, but that's actually what was originally the computer room, which will be another meeting room. And the Evelyn War room gets a bit bigger, and we get that kind of, that's the dumb weights coming up from the kitchen, which with this demountable partition means that could be used, that room could be used as a breakout room for the assembly room, whilst food and other things are coming up and down here, so you can still got back of house access for the whole building. And then just onto the top floor. On the top floor, on the 4th floor, the extension, you've still got the male and female toilets up here, the new toilet that running in. Another small plant room, and you get again that last, so you basically get 5 meeting rooms throughout that extension, plus the Evelyn War room can be split into 2, so potentially 6 different rooms, which can be used as meeting rooms, storerooms, one archive store potentially on this level, or breakout rooms if you're using the whole building as a conference or something. So the only, in terms of the architecture, we're just kind of widening this here. It's about 700 mil wider. So, but we're just going to, if we can squeeze that last bit of space out of there, it makes a massive difference. The prompt for doing this is through the development of the M&E, the mechanical and electrical, and proposals for the building. We've been pushing the M&E team quite hard to try and make the building carbon neutral, and one of the strategies of doing that is to get rid of the boiler, which is currently just behind the bar on the assembly level. If we can do that and the buildings run on a kind of renewable energy tariff, it can become potentially carbon neutral going forward. In order to get rid of that gas boiler, we need to put some air source heat pumps on the roof, and so we need to make a new planning application for planning consent application for that. Whilst we're doing that, we can make this kind of slight tweak within the same application, and the air source heat pumps will be located above the male and female toilets here, so at the very back of the building. We've kind of done some modelling of this, and even if you're standing on the far side of the island looking up, because of the height of the building, you won't be able to see the air source heat pumps at the back. So there's very little chance of that being visible from kind of other than the buildings around it. So whilst we're doing that and kind of unlocking the potential to take this building and make it carbon neutral going forward in terms of its energy usage, if we just make this tweak here, we rationalise the plan a little bit, and we get you a lot more usable space throughout the building. The whole circulation becomes a lot more easy.
Can you just tell me where are the toilets?
So throughout the building or in the extension?
Yeah, all together. Yeah.
So on the ground floor, as you come in, what's going to be the main door, which you've got the spiral staircase there. You'll come in the main door, not the spiral staircase door. There's a wheelchair accessible toilet on the ground floor. Above there on the first floor level, if we can, yeah. So on the floor below. So we've got one wheelchair accessible toilet here.
Yeah.
On the first floor, we've got, well, this is actually going to be unisex toilets with another wheelchair accessible toilet here on the first floor.
Yeah.
On the floor above, you've got an existing wheelchair accessible toilet here at the top of the spiral stair, which is staying. And then on the fourth floor of the extension, we get new toilets here. So if you're using the marker hall, you can either use the ground floor wheelchair accessible toilet or go up to the first floor to use the toilet there. If you're on a assembly room, you can either come down to the unisex toilets or go up a floor to the new toilets on the fourth floor of the extension, or you can use the wheelchair accessible toilet on the assembly room level. So there's toilets on every level of the building.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm glad about the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's really important.
Yeah.
Knowing somebody like who's got a truck and needs to get into the toilets on that.
Yeah.
So we've got to be able to move around and so on.
So the toilet on the ground floor is actually designed in response to Mike's comments last time we presented it, so we've expanded the size of that.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
And then
I think the ground floor ones are designed for scooter use.
yeah.
Yes. But the ones above that is wheelchair use.
So the one first floor is unisex, just standard unisex toilets. Sorry, and one. We just go down to first floor, yeah, and then one wheelchair accessible toilet here, and then we've got
A standard wheelchair as opposed to a new scooter.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And obviously we've got the lift access throughout the buildings. If anyone needs specialist access to or access to that bigger toilet on the ground floor, can get into the lift and get down very easily.
Yeah. So you've got one scooter accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Mike's being chatting over there.
Well, you know, he's not here to shout himself.
No, I know. Yeah. Brilliant, thank you.
So yeah, we're looking to make this planning application by the end of the week if possible. So we just kind of need a little bit of sign. If you could just scroll down a little bit to the next one. Just keep going. There we go. So this is the cone marked elevation. That's what we've got permission for, and you can see it's very similar. We're just effectively taking out that wall, so that the glazing becomes a little bit wider. What we're proposing, because we've got the bin store there, is that lower section, instead of being glazed all the way down, we infill that with white lights to match the building, and then we'll just have the glazed panels above, and then that's just a step out to the rear. So if you could just, again, this is the existing elevation to the alleyway. So we're just changing the kind of fenestration a little bit to suit the staircases here, and just this is the office and the kitchen here. Because it's down the alleyway, we're trying to avoid putting very large pieces of glass in just for security reasons. So you've got kind of these banded glass openings here, and then the larger windows up on the top. And then just one more. And then this is the TSB alleyway. So you've got the kind of two meeting rooms here, and then the toilets, just a high level window across the top there. Just very, very, very minor changes, and we're not expecting a great deal of pushback or anything from the local authority on this. This elevation here is where you'll see the air source heat pumps the most, but you've got a very narrow alleyway there, so actually the angle of incidence of your eyes is very low. So it's very, very difficult to, I mean, apart from if you're positioned somewhere high up on the in the town, you're looking down at an odd angle. It's very unlikely that anyone will ever see the handling pump up there.
You've got an Oliver Brooks room on the second floor.
Yeah, I think it's been mislabeled.
First floor.
Yeah, I think it's been mislabeled. Yeah. So there'll only be one Oliver Brooks room. I can't remember what the other ones are actually for.
All right.
Cost implications?
Very minor cost implications. Again, I think the space we're adding to is about 700 mil, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it makes the building much more usable, the floor plan much more efficient. You're not going to get to the staircase, you're not having to go through other rooms, so people can occupy those spaces independently of what else is going on in the building. So I think there are significant benefits to the use of the building.
Yeah.
And we had to have the planning permission anyway, so
Yeah.
there's no real.
So it's not going to cost anything extra to submit this. If the planners are entrenched against it, we can obviously withdraw that section of the planning application and just leave in the proposal for the air source heat pumps.
So the ground floor
Yeah.
is part of the phase 1 development,
Is that right? Yeah. So
and I guess obviously some of these things are, especially the upper floors, are part of phase 2.
phase 1.
Was it just the extension?
Just the
Just the
extension.
extension.
in front.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is everything within the existing building on the ground at the first floor,
Okay.
and a minor change to the second floor. Phase 2 is largely the extension of that.
So it's all just phase 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask about storage?
Storage.
Tables and chairs and things, so when does that come in?
Yeah. So we just go to the to the fourth floor, or third floor. Sorry, stop. No, sorry, down. The other way. That's it. Yeah. So the idea with the Evil and War room, this has always been designed with a door and a half on this. This was designed specifically because you needed somewhere to decant all those chairs to on that level. So we've got a really large storeroom here where you can put all the chairs and tables from there if you've got a standing event. Or if you've got a wedding on there, you can set them all out there. This room can then be kind of where the buffet's set up, and while the kind of wedding is going on there, staff can come up and down the back stairs, food can come up and down the waiter, and this can all be laid out without disturbing that.
Is that there's an existing upstairs door to the fire escape?
Yeah, so the existing fire escape door is in this location, so what we're proposing to do is just widen that in opening. Yeah. And that should save significant like volunteer hours when running the building.
Yeah. It was spread about before, wasn't it? Different. So there wasn't any furniture for the downstairs rooms, or we'd use that furniture?
So, sorry, we can just go down to, we'll work our way up. We go down to the ground floor. On the ground floor, we've got the offices and the kitchen. We've got a small cellar store, but there's no dedicated furniture store for the market hall. We just walk in. But as I say, on the first floor, we've got 3 rooms there, so we can take stuff either downstairs or out the lift and then down there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because the site is so constrained and we're trying to fit so much into this building, because we've had to take so much out to unlock the market hall, it's very, very tight. So there have to be some kind of compromises somewhere.
I think the biggest issue with storage is chairs, isn't it? On the top floor.
Yeah.
Because it's dual use as a cinema.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
completely unfeasible to hire out the top hall and take the chairs out. It takes a chap a day to move all the chairs downstairs. You've lost any income from hiring out the top hall, which is a non-starter. So this is the solution.
Does the piano stay in the assembly room?
That's down to you. Currently, it's proposed as we haven't designated it still, but I think that even more room will be big enough probably to move that in there.
So I wouldn't think it was going to be very easy to move it from one floor to the next.
I'm certainly not volunteering to move it now.
I saw four blokes bringing it in.
That's brilliant. Anyone got any more questions?
Very good idea.